Hello, YouTube. Hello, MGTOW. This is me, MGTOW in the Wind. When we are born, we are thrust out of a valley into another valley, the valley of life. This is going to be called the Valley of the Broken Glass, due to the fact that within this mound, within this valley that is far and wide, with unscalable walls, with an unscalable cliff face. With an unscalable cliff face, there have men who've tried, but not to succeed. Those are the ones that tired themselves, that wore themselves out. But let's not focus on them. Let's focus on the Valley of Glass, the Glass Mountains in particular. If you look at the top of the Glass Mounds, you'll see men. They're all on their knees. Some of them are in a fetal position, laying on top of the broken glass shards, holding bottles. Some of the majority of them holding what's left of bottles. Now, the ones that are on their knees smiling are holding an intact bottle with the contents that may or may not, that may be enough to quench their individual thirst. And the ones that are broken, that are either on their knees and broken, or in a fetal position holding a broken bottle, are the ones that made it to the top of the mound only to find disappointment. So you're here walking this valley of glass and sand, observing this. You continue your walk, and all of a sudden thirst takes over. You need something to quench that thirst. You think about climbing the mound of glass, but then you look down at the base of the glass mound, and you see bodies of men littering in various stages of death within that glass mound, in the surrounding of the glass mounds. Some of them are on top, some of them are leaning, some of them have collapsed onto the glass mound in random intervals. So you continue, hoping you can find a smaller glass mound, but they just keep getting bigger as your trek continues. They keep getting larger and more treacherous. Now, as you continue your quest, you look back, and there's nothing there. You try to turn around and go back, but there's nothing to go back to. It's like it disappeared. So you continue moving forwards along this glass mountain valley. You're wondering where all this glass is coming from. Now, you think about climbing one of these glass mounds in hopes of finding a bottle, hopefully with the contents in it to quench your thirst. But then you see the bodies littering the glass mounds and littering your path. So you continue walking, hoping to find civilization, hoping to find salvation. And then you come to the end of your path. You have now become a part of the grain of sand. We're going to talk about the valley and the glass mounds and the bottles and what they represent. The sand represents the men who have walked that path, that same very trail before you. The glass mounds that are of increasing size represent the things that you have to go through to get to that bottle that may or may not be broken, that may or may not be full of contents to quench your thirst. The disappearance of the glass mound when you turn around represents the past on how you can never go back. The bottle represents a relationship that may or may not have been broken or half empty from the start, or in varying degrees of empty from the start. I make this video in hopes that men will begin to understand that you have three choices. Take a risk on that glass mound and risk being broken as that bottle that may or may not be broken when you pull it out of the glass mound. Lay down at the base of the hill, at the base of the glass mound, and wait for the end. Or continue on forwards, knowing that each day your thirst increases to the point where eventually you don't feel thirsty anymore. And you just become a part of the grains of sand in that valley. This is MGTOWN the Wind, also known as Wind or Windy. Signing off.